What's up, everybody? It is Thursday. It is the Lore Games, and we are back to publicly viewable Lore Games.
Woo.
We welcome everybody.
We've lost all your viewers.
I know. That's right. We got to start over. It's fine. Everything's good.
Do we have any viewers right now?
Guys, shut up. Love you.
You have to maintain a schedule. And you have to be on time. Those are the two rules.
Well, we're fucked.
There is our scheduled and on time.
Thank you, Dusty. Appreciate you. We literally, so the reason we weren't here.
I only have like 3 words of wisdom. You guys got to listen to at least 2 of them. Come on.
The reason we weren't live we were doing Lore Games the last few weeks, but the reason we weren't live
because we were bringing the good stuff and we didn't want you involved.
That's right. Yes. We were public about everything except 3 for some weird reason. No. The reason is
real good stuff.
We were commissioned to do a private Lore Games for a really fantastic Web3 project. We're not going to talk about it. They are going to do a press release. And once they announce it, then we will talk about it. But we were here. We were working. And we're helping out the Web3 space. It was really fun. And I think there's going to be there's more stuff on the way. I mean, January, bro. It's almost the end of January. It's still January, and I feel like we've already put in a quarter's worth of work. So I guess that's a good thing. Lot of people reaching out, a lot of people talking. There's gonna be a lot of good things going on this year, man. It's gonna be very, very busy, but I think it's gonna be really, really good. So. Welcome. It's glad to be back. I'm very happy to be back live. Hopefully we told people about this. Hopefully it's in the Discord. We'll see. I don't know. Oops.
No, I'm just kidding.
Great. Excellent. And there's a lot of good things. Desi's been working on the Discord, so that's some good stuff coming up. He's been kicking ass and like working really hard to revamp the entire Adult Fantasy Discord, and it looks really good. Like it looks really cool. So I can't wait for that to go live. Very, very soon. Round the horn, we got Dusty Sky, we got the great Andrew Charper, we got Flint, we got Studio 7.62, aka Avery Butterworth, and we have the Spear of Heaven, aka Zachary Arbella. How you guys doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Great. So I thought for tonight, I think last week or a couple weeks ago, I guess it was before our private Lore Games, or maybe we tried to move Lore Games to like one of the Friday nights, and everyone was just so tired. It's a Friday night. You just want to chill and laugh and party. You don't really want to like work hard. But we came up with an idea. Actually, it was Rommel came up with an idea that was bopping around his head called the Heist. That's the name we just kind of gave it. And so this is
this headline at the bottom.
What's that?
The
Well, we were talking in the green room, and I was like, I need a disclaimer. We were talking about
carry on.
What were we talking, Flint? What were we talking about in the green room right before we went live? I don't remember.
Plausible deniability is what we were talking about.
That's right. I think plausible deniability is exactly what we were talking about. We basically, Rommel's idea, it was really, really cool. It was basically, if I remember correctly, that there's Team A and Team B. Team A has been hired for a heist, and unbeknownst to them, they're actually the decoys, meaning it's like Suicide Squad. They were never meant to be able to do the heist, and probably never meant to survive the attempt at the heist. Yet somehow, through miraculous humor, I guess, like universal accident, they actually succeed in the heist and get this MacGuffin. And so that triggers hilarity ensues, right? Basically, one of the things was they were offered a huge reward to get this thing. And of course, it was never going to get paid because these people were not supposed to survive. So now you have the employer who's indebted for this massive, a reward for this MacGuffin. You also have Team B. Team B was the team that was actually supposed to do the heist. So Team A was the decoy. Team B is supposed to go in and do the heist. And so now Team B wants to eliminate Team A while also getting paid from the employer. Team A wants to get paid. They don't know that Team B is out to kill them. And you may have some other factions in there as well. You've got the employer who is in deep shit, and also possibly the secret society or the level above the person that hired the employer who set this whole thing in motion as well, who is like very not happy about all of this. So that was kind of the premise that we had. We just started really light. We have hired to steal treasury plates, never intended to pay that group. Team B was supposed to get it, but Team A actually did it by accident. Honchos decide to kill off Team B. Maybe I meant Team A, but whatever. Open with them holding the bag. They got it. Holy shit. We talked about maybe the movie The Hangover, because it kind of has like a hangover kind of element to it. The decoy team doesn't know that they're the decoys. They were supposed to die or get caught. They learned the truth. They were meant to die. The employer now becomes the villain of the story. The contingency plan, i.e. Plan B, was the real plan. Promised Team A a ridiculous reward. I covered this. Test to get into organized crime group. Like maybe it was a test to get them in the group. Commando practice over cardboard boxes. I don't actually remember what that means. Commando practice. I don't remember what that means. Don't know what the MacGuffin is. Team A opens it and finds that it's a CD case, priceless to him. So this was something that was really funny. Like maybe, what was it, Andrew? Maybe it's the Roadhouse remake DVD, Blu-ray, autographed Blu-ray.
It would be the original Roadhouse movie. Would be the prized possession.
Oh, okay. And then we have a couple of characters we put in, like Trash Panda, Carl, Cobalt Fox, potentially could be the handler. Clairvoy might be in there, Dead Step, Finger Blaster, Grumblebee. Like who could fit this group? And we can also create some new characters because that's always fun too. So, what do you guys think? Do you want to kind of play with this a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So
Let's see what we can do with it.
yeah, I think we should throw it up against the wall and see what happens. So, I mean, we've done this enough now. I feel like we have the rules pretty much down. Well, let me ask you this: do we want to do it tonight? Do we want to just kind of add random thoughts and then start Story Circle maybe like next week?
I'm good with that.
I think so. I think we need at least a little more. I don't know if we have enough information yet. Like, okay, well, let's have some. We'll just brainstorm some ideas as we go through the Story Circle, right? We won't necessarily put down the Story Circle, but we'll kind of target questions. So, who is going to be the main character, the person that we focus on for this story? And I by the way, I'm actually really excited about this. I think this could be like a graphic novel or a comic, so I'm pretty stoked about this.
Well, the question there then is, do we want to use one of our established characters, as a way to pump them up, or do we want to bring in someone new? So, like from a business standpoint, like it would be a good way to bring in someone from our established canon into the thing.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if it's a new character, that's new mint.
I think it's better. I think it's actually makes sense to have an established character. We did talk about Carl a lot. He is kind of like the perfect patsy that would think that he could pull off an impossible heist. So he might be an option.
Sense.
All right, that would work.
So I'll just say you, and I'll just put Carl.
Wasn't our main character from the prison story a new character?
Yeah, it was, but
Yeah.
I think that took place like 20 years before.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking. I think we did better creating a new character and then surround him by people that were in the world.
You can
That's
if
just,
you want.
that's just my 2 cents.
Well, who? Okay, so let's talk. So we can also. That's totally legitimate.
It's a
Who?
bad idea. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding, Avery? Or are you being real?
Real.
Okay, well, we can still. So that's okay. There's no.
Good thing we
bad
don't
idea.
ever care about his opinion. Whoa.
No, there's no opinion. There's no bad ideas. Like, well, Andrew, let's.
Andrew
test
has
that
lots of bad ideas.
I do.
I have lots of bad ideas. Bad ideas turn into good ideas.
No, I think if we're creating a fresh new story, trying to force one of the already created characters as the main lead might just be difficult. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's perfect.
Well,
Okay, well,
Then which character is the main lead, Avery? Throw it out there.
Carl.
I do
I'm
think
sorry, if I saw a graphic novel with Carl as the lead character, I'm skipping it. He's not
Okay,
a draw
well,
to me at all, in no way
Avery-
whatsoever.
Avery wants Carl because it's based off Avery, and Andrew hates Carl because it's based off Avery.
No, I'm not saying I hate him. He could be a character. He's like in the last Suicide Squad. He's Polka Dot Man.
I'm
So-
just fucking with
He's
Andrew.
He's not. Who is the black guy that played the Deadshot wannabe in the second Suicide Squad movie? He's not him.
Well, guys, I hate to say it. Well, yeah, I think
Go ahead and say it. Andrew's right.
No, I was going to say
You
Andrew has
agrees with
a point.
Thank you.
I think
You're banned
Carl,
for life.
Avery, blow snot out of your, focus on blowing snot out of your nose for a sec, okay?
Oh, damn.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I apologize.
Did Romel show up?
No, don't apologize.
It's
For a second there, I thought
Jesus
Romel
Christ,
was
you
here.
make one good joke and then you back down.
I'm Japanese. We're very very.
Don't be a
polite.
pussy.
Hey, that's racist.
I'm just saying, let's start with the idea of the main character being.
All right, who all right, so I
Oh,
think.
I thought I got kicked.
Go ahead.
Stop talking. Oh, the reason why I'm saying if we make a character the main character or the if you're looking at the movie poster, he's the person right there in the middle.
I think honestly, guys, I think Carl as a character works best as a supporting character. I mean, he's basically he's basically John Goodman from The Big Lebowski.
Yep, sure.
So
and it's the dude it's the dude who's on the movie poster, not with like John Goodman's character kind of in the background shouting about Vietnam. So I think Carl would like be the would be best as like kind of a supporting character, maybe like the crazy guy who gives the lead agita.
okay, so that's totally legit. Either way is legit. We don't have to make decisions, but at least not tonight. But based on that, Andrew and Zach, let's if it's not Carl, let's talk about who it might be or what this new character might entail, because we're totally cool. It's totally fine to create a new character as long as there's a reason to create the new character, right?
I'm imagining a character who is a criminal, who's a lifelong criminal, but he's always been a loner. He's never worked well in a team, and he's being forced to work in a team on a team heist, and has a lot of trepidation about doing it and about being involved with these guys because he doesn't trust any of these guys that he's involved with. And maybe when the whole thing is supposed to go to shit and doesn't, maybe it's because of something he did in order to help them succeed, when honestly they were all supposed to fail. They were all supposed to be expendable. I'm imagining thinking Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, he's my man. And he's really buff in that new movie preview that I watched, and we can talk
good
about that
Lord.
tomorrow. But he looked good. He was a former UFC fighter in the new movie, and he looks good. I mean, come on. For those out there that are like Jake Gyllenhaal fans, like woohoo, you could easily swoon over. But he's got that rugged, badass kind of attitude.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also not a team player. That's what I imagine this person would be like.
Okay.
So I'm throwing this idea out there. You guys go with it. You guys run with it.
All right. So I think that's fine. Anybody else? Zach, what you kind of support the idea? So do you have any additions to that?
Well, let's think about the all the classic heist movies and stories of the past. All right, like Ocean's 11, The Italian Job, both the original and the remake.
The remake was pretty good. It was entertaining.
Rafifi, so on and so forth. Ronin, which is basically like something like that. So the guy who comes in is always it's Rafifi. It's I actually haven't seen that in years.
It didn't.
Yeah, it's basically we'll take like Ocean's 11 for example. You got the so if this guy's supposed to be part of a team of patsies, well then he has to be someone who's not who's not going to be on the outside seem as being very smart. All right. I mean, have you guys ever seen that movie Spies Like Us from the Chevy Chase Dan Aykroyd from the 80s?
Yeah, dude, exactly. Yeah.
So it would have to be someone. Would have to be someone like that. Kind of basically someone who's a schmuck. Who's basically a low-level player with like delusions of being bigger, like someone like Jake Gyllenhaal. I mean, that would work if the team that was being sent in was the actual team. I mean, because like that's a badass. And
team B is basically like team B is Ocean's 11.
Team B is Ocean's 11 is like Ocean's 11. It is Ocean's 11. They're, the guys who were actually supposed to pull it off. Team A are basically a bunch of stumble bums. They're the gang they can't shoot straight. So, I mean that's the kind of gang that would have someone like Carl on the payroll.
Yeah, but if they don't have at least one potentially competent person, somebody's going to see. Wait a minute, we're destined to fail. That's why I think the main character should be that guy.
I'll challenge you on that though, Andrew, because like.
Stupid people don't know they're stupid.
Dunning-Kruger, man, you put a bunch of stupid people together, they think they're geniuses.
I mean, maybe
we need a Will Smith of this group, and that's who I'm thinking of. Down and out guy that by himself, was successful, but on hard times.
All right.
But
I would argue that shouldn't be the main guy.
Actually, no. I think it.
Well, we should make the main person a girl and make her gay and stupid.
No. I think someone like that, because we you want the protagonist to be someone you can root for, and just basically picking someone who's a complete moron. You don't. That's no one's going to care about that. They're just going to want. They're going to put down, or they're wondering, okay, when's this guy going to get shot?
Well, I'm not saying that it should be a complete moron, but what I'm saying is if you have everybody on the team be horribly incompetent, and then by comparison, the main character just looks impossibly competent,
Well, actually, did you ever see that movie, Mystery Men? Like it was like the movie version of the Flaming Carrot from the 90s.
Yep.
So maybe. That's kind of what we should be shooting for. I mean, they're like, sorry, go ahead.
No. So what is this? Did you guys? I don't know the name of the movie. That movie. I can't remember the actor. I can see the actor's name, but I can't remember his name. He played an NPC in a video game.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
Free guy.
Free guy.
That's right. Yeah. So kind of like that, like like he's bumbling like a petty crime, robbing 7-Elevens, that kind of thing. Like he's small time and kind of like a Ryan Reynolds type of character where he's like thinks he's getting into the big time, but it's obvious to everyone around him that it's like the kid that thinks he's a rapper but is like clearly not. You know what I mean? Like and all of a sudden he actually gets his shot at the big time. And so thinks he's a leading man.
Yeah, Grandmaster B.
What's Grandmaster B?
Bud Bundy from. Remember when his character tried to be a rapper?
Oh yeah.
What? Do you guys remember like when Jimmy Kennedy did a movie like back in the 90s where he was basically playing like a wannabe white rapper who? No, I don't remember what the name is either.
Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, it was like
Malibu's Most Wanted or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
So maybe someone like that, but not as over the top.
Yeah, like a terrible white rapper that everyone knows sucks, but somehow gets a shot. Right.
But that's kind of like what Finger Blaster is, right?
Yeah, Finger Blaster. Well, I thought Finger Blaster could be almost the target, because I like Finger Blaster. He's kind of like that stupid redneck. He's like, I don't know, Kid Rock mixed with like
Crypto Bro.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. Kid Rock mixed with Florida Man.
Yeah, he's totally Florida Man. So, but I thought what has always made me laugh is that he's actually loaded. He actually is like a crypto guy. He's a legit crypto bro.
Mm-hmm.
And so they could go to be, and it doesn't have to be about crypto. It could be gold or whatever they're trying to steal. I don't know. But he could be the one in possession of it, right? Like he could be Finger Blaster could be the target. Because he's the one that he would also have like, giant redneck guns and all kinds of shit. Right. While also having a penthouse made of gold or something.
All right. So our hero then. So the hero then is a low level player, smarter than he looks, kind of on hard times, has skills, but it's looking to move up in the world. So
I do like the Ryan Reynolds angle where he's almost like good-natured bumbling. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, why don't we just go in and do this? Like that kind of that Ryan Reynolds kind of typecast character, but somehow manages to like lead the team and pull it. Like ends up like taking lead of the team. Maybe their main guy gets shot or something, and so he's forced to be leader. Like he had to take the mantle and actually like makes the heist happen somehow. But it's a series. It's really like it should be a series of unfortunate events, right? It should be like the reason this happens almost has nothing to do with them, right? Other than being there, like everything else should be completely by accident. Like even getting the thing should be like a complete accident. Like they dress up as security guards or something and trip the alarm, and one of the other security guards gives it to them or something to protect, or I don't know. That's lame, but something is like ridiculous, like something where like it's really obvious that they absolutely are not equipped for this, and none of this should be happening.
I like that idea, and I kind of like the idea of we going and like taking heist movie tropes where like go watch a bunch of movies that have heists in it where the heists go horribly wrong, and pick those tropes and put them in the story, but they just happen to go right. So you're expecting this thing to happen. We built suspense for it, and maybe the guy drops something and ducks at the last second and doesn't get caught by a guard because of it, or
Right.
just make it really kind of silly.
Like even something like Dog Day Afternoon, where they're surrounded by cops or something. Like, I don't know, like Get Out just through complete circumstance.
I had an idea for a story. It's something I may eventually one day write. But part of the story is they were going to do something. And they sat down and they literally mapped out the entire process, every step of the way, every piece of the puzzle they were going to do in order to achieve the goal and everybody get out successfully. And then when they do it, everything goes to shit. Everything gets blown up. Nothing works the way it's supposed to, but they still have the right outcome at the end. It's the same exact outcome at the end, but nothing went as planned. I kind of imagine that with a lot of this, with this.
Yeah,
Like
see, I almost imagine
they're going in with a set goal on how they're going to do this. Everything falls apart. Nothing goes the way they expected it to, and they're still able to get out at the end.
Yeah, I like that, and I also
think
like.
that'd be funny. That'd be hilarious,
I almost think like you could have a montage where they're training, and they're getting all this stuff ready, and like to your point, Andrew, like using little cars. They're really planning it, and then when they get there, like it's not even the same building, or the layout is completely different, and they realize they used a map from like 1895 or something.
Like
and
the
there's
map
like
was upside
15,
down.
Yeah, the map was upside down.
15 guards guarding it instead of 3. That type of thing.
Total, yeah.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys ever see the Italian Job, the original version with Michael Caine?
No.
A long time ago.
All right. Well, in the original Italian Job, Benny Hill, from like the old Benny Hill show, plays the part basically of like a pervert pervert professor, and now I may be wrong about this, but the plot goes that he's supposed to play like an important role in pulling off the heist. But what happens is that he basically right before everything's supposed to go off, he gets arrested for essentially trying to assault a woman. Although again, this was the '60s, so it was played off as a joke. But of course, if you did it today, you probably get burned in effigy. So maybe instead of like that could be the way. It also is that they actually have a good plan, but one of their guys is just through some does something or through some personal, like maybe he gets high, he gets stoned on the day of, or he gets he gets caught with his pants down with the wrong person, or I guess in a completely pointless bar fight over some BS reason, like my team's better than your team or something like that, and this guy is actually essential to the plan they cooked up, and they're forced to improvise, and it's in improvising a solution to that problem that they actually throw the whole plan, the actual the A team off of their game, or they they end up like throwing like a wrench into the works of the mastermind behind it, who set them up to fail.
Right.
By trying to solve a problem that their own foolishness created, they end up like accidentally succeeding despite themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. And also like, what's even funnier about that, Zach, is like you could have like, what if everybody knew about it, right? Like you've got the employer who knows about it because he's setting it up. Team A is hired, Team B is hired, but but maybe there's a mole or something in the employer's team or from team B. I don't know. Maybe there's some for some reason, the mark, whoever the mark is, knows this is coming as well. And everyone knows the fucking plan because it got leaked. But when this key person, I don't know, gets thrown out of a building, or I don't know, is taken off the chessboard, and now there's a team A is improvising. Well, now everything is thrown into chaos. So everyone knew the plan, and it would have been probably a simple either stop or success. But now that there's improv, it's like complete chaos.
That would work.
Like even like you add an extra element of like fuckery if the mark also knew that he was about to get hit, right? Like he'd been planning for it, but those plans are completely wrong now, and so it's all chaos.
Yeah, that would actually be really funny and like a real twist, because it would basically throw all the balls up in the air, and we could have a lot of fun figuring out how they all come down.
Now everybody wants Team A dead, right? Because the mark is like, I was going to defend myself, and I had these guys ready to go from this original plan, but now, like they've changed it, so we need to kill them or something. You know, it kind of it elevates, and then the employer wants them dead, and then Team B wants them dead, or at least revenge, right? So who else is on this team? So we've got this main character guy, and then we've got Carl. Like, how many people do we need on the team? Do we need like an Ocean's 11 kind of thing where you have like the skinny Asian kid who can like fit into a box or something? Like,
I mean, I think too many characters is gonna will overload the story. I'd keep it I'd say classic 5-man group.
I'm thinking very similar to like the setup for like Super Crooks.
what was that? I don't remember that. I remember Super Crooks.
It was a comic series by what's his name that was made into an animated
Neil Francis
show on
Yu,
Netflix.
and wasn't it Mark Miller or was it Ellis?
I think it was Mark Millar. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the animated show on Netflix is pretty good.
How did it work? What was the premise?
Just a bunch of super crooks that were trying to do one last score, and I don't remember if they pulled it off in the end, but it was a whole bunch of cool looking characters, and some of them were silly and stupid, and like the main chick was really hot, and it was interesting. The animation was pretty good.
So like a classic 5-man group like Super Crooks?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Oops, shit. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. Google. Super Crooks. Images. It's over. Oh yeah, you get your old guy, your muscle guy.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, because I remember the Neil Francis Yu art.
Yep.
Okay. So, well, yeah, you got the main guy who's kind of like Rico Suave, and then you've got the team. Of course, our guys need to be a little dumber, but that's fine. We can making stupid characters is kind of a specialty. So, cool. Okay, and maybe we can expand on who the actual team is later as we need. I think one of the things that I always like about these types of heist movies or these heist teams is that the team really matters based on whatever the specific objective is at the time. You know what I mean? Like you have the character, you end up having the character that fits into the box at this one point in time, so he gets through security or something, right? He fits under the I don't know, the buffet table or some shit because he's a contortionist. That's like an Ocean's 11 thing, right? Or he was like the Asian kid, right? That was his only job, and so he was in the entire movie for that one shot, so they could do that. So you could tell that they had really planned this out, right? It wasn't just random people. So,
all right, let me ask a question.
Yeah.
What's the important focus of this story? The heist going wrong and them succeeding at it, or what happens afterwards? The reason why I'm asking that is, if you remember, if you watched any of the Mission Impossible movies, there was literally like the first Mission Impossible where you had the hanging from the ceiling and all the intense stuff. There were later Mission Impossible movies where he literally, I'm going in to do it, and then the next thing you see, he's coming out. It's already done. It's like, why waste time showing it? We've already done that.
No, I think
it was what happened afterwards that's more important.
In my head, I wish Romel was here. But in my head, like it seems like this is a character development piece for the team, right? So you kind of get to know the team. So it seems like the inciting event, the catalyst, is the job, and then they get into the job, and then they're studying. The fun and games is like the planning and getting there and doing the job, and then the midpoint is where everything goes to shit. The midpoint is where they succeed because they're not supposed to, which actually is the negative point because they were not supposed to. And then everything after that is the chaos of the bad guys closing in because they did the wrong thing, which was succeed.
What if somebody has like a secret power that they don't plan on or don't know about that actually saves the day?
I'll still eat my cheese sandwich. Sorry.
You can eat your cheese sandwich. Your cheese sandwich is welcome here, sir.
Sorry. Hi, guys. Dusty told me to bring hookers and blow. I got cheese sandwich and some Kool-Aid. I don't know if that's good enough or not.
So how'd the breaking of the bad news go?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Zach, your comedic timing.
Wow. Well, you know what, guys? Look, it's
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up.
It's okay. It's one of those things, Actually, the community's taking it really well.
Oh, that's good.
Founder came in, said his piece. I said my piece, and I said my piece again. And then he said, "I'm sorry, I'm leaving." So that's it. Anyway, that's for later discussion. How you guys doing? What's up? What are we doing?
We are starting a new lore game. This is, I think it might actually be a comic series, which is cool. This originally was, I'll just recap it real quick for Doc. This was originally something that Romel proposed. And basically what happens is there are a few different players involved. There's Team A, Team B.
Yeah.
The employer. Do you know this?
Yeah, I was here that. Yeah, I was here that night when we did this.
So we're doing that one, the heist. Okay. And so what we've been doing tonight is just kind of expanding on throwing out what ifs and what the hell's going on and whatever. So we have right now we're kind of talking about who the main characters are. So we think we want Carl involved, but we've kind of turned to say, well, maybe he's not the main character, maybe he's not the lead. And so we're talking about a new character who maybe he's like, like that terrible white rapper that everyone knows sucks, but somehow magically gets a shot at the big time.
Like the Island Boys.
Yes.
Island Boy.
God, you don't have to call me out this way.
Flint.
Not nice.
Flint is the Island Boy.
True, man. I would laugh.
Oh man, but yeah, exactly. And so the main character is probably like a low-level petty thief, criminal. Maybe it's even smaller than petty. He's just like stealing comic books from a local comic shop. You know what I mean? It doesn't even have to be like robbing a bank. Like he can still be a good guy, just thinking he's a
Right.
bad guy.
Yeah.
Bastard stealing from a comic store.
Andrew's out.
Trying to eat a snack, trying not to do it on.
So he wouldn't be like a named character in the universe. He'd just be like a guy that's experiencing all these other people.
No, we'd be creating a new character for
Okay,
AF
right.
And he would
Okay.
be like the main. He would eventually probably have a card, right?
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so he's brought onto this team. He basically comes on, but everyone, of course, is an idiot. And basically, Team B is the Ocean's 11. These are the suave, good-looking criminals. Team A, which he's on, is bumbling and is supposed to fail and hopefully die. And we thought about maybe taking heist movie tropes where heists go wrong, but they happen to go right. And basically, it's a series of unfortunate events makes these guys succeed. Like they have no ability to succeed. It's just the universe decides that they're going to win.
Yeah, I love
Right?
that stuff.
And so like they use a map and they get there, but they realize that everything is wrong, and it's because the map was from 1929 or something.
Yeah.
Right? Or
It's like you like bend down on the sidewalk you see the penny, and you bend down, and that's when the piano movers drop the piano right
That's
where you're
right.
standing,
The
kind
whole
of
thing. That's right. Exactly. And so we had I think Zach came up with an idea, like maybe a guy that's essential to the plan gets caught with his pants down or gets into a bar fight, gets tossed off of a roof. Something happens to essential plan guy, and so they're forced to improvise, right? And that improvisation is actually what throws a wrench into everything else, which sets up the stage for serendipity. And one of the things that we just kind of threw out there was like, well, what if the mark, and right now the mark in my head is either a new character or it's maybe Finger Blaster, because I always see Finger Blaster as like a crypto bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he could be loaded and he's just like a stupid redneck influencer. I mean, he's just the worst like stereotype, right?
Did you guys ever see that movie Spring Break? You know that. Sorry. Go ahead.
Hold on, let me finish really quick. But one of the things we tossed out there was like, what if the mark also knew that he was about to get hit? Meaning, Team A knows that they're going to do a job. Team B knows that there's a job and that Team A is supposed to be sacrificed. The employer knows the plan because they helped make the plan. But maybe there's a mole somewhere in there that also tips off the mark. So he has all the chess pieces on the board to slaughter whoever's there. But because this key essential piece of the plan gets fucked up and this team is now improvising, everything is screwed up, and that sets the stage for that serendipitous activity.
Yeah, like something really dumb, like got caught peeing in the alley by the cop and hauled off, like something really like bozo move, right?
Yeah, his car gets towed or some shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I would like to add, I think it's important to try to maybe fit this story into existing characters, because as exciting as new characters are, it feels important to kind of add depth and dimension to the existing characters that many of them we kind of haven't touched on yet.
100%. So I think Carl could definitely be in there. Cobalt Fox could certainly be the handler. Maybe there's two levels. There's the handler and then the employer, and the employer is like a hidden character or something.
I think we definitely need someone like Polar Star. Like I hate to say it, but still, basically someone who's a babe. Someone who's eye candy, because someone to be like the Charlize Theron character in the Italian Job remake.
Yep.
That's.
And I also like maybe the employer or the handler sends like Dead Step to kill these people, right? Like Dead Step could kind of be the No Country for Old Men. Yeah,
Anton
Chigurh.
Yeah.
Javier Bardem's character.
Yeah, he could totally be like, you know, the silent killer coming to get them throughout the whole thing. You know what I mean? In fact, No
Yeah,
Country for
yeah.
Old Men might be a good reference movie.
That's Coen Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was watching. I was hanging out with my mom and wound up watching like 6 episodes of the new Fargo, and they do a lot of references to their other films. And there's a really creepy, like religious-y zealot kind of looks like a mix between a Amish guy and a I don't know. He's in there too, but they go back and they use a lot of their tropes from previous films, which is kind of fun and cool.
Nice.
That's a good show, by the way. I've never watched that before. Any of them.
I've heard it was good.
Fargo?
Yeah.
Fargo was great. The TV series.
Yeah, the TV series. Yeah, I've only watched this new season. I was hanging out with my mom.
Yeah. The first season was really good. The second season was just as good,
Mhm.
and then it started to go downhill from there. But they're all entertaining. They're all entertaining. But
Yeah.
the first 2 are probably the best.
Yeah.
Some really great acting, especially what's his name, Billy Bob Thornton in the first one with what's his name, Colin Hanks, Tom Hanks' son, really good in that one.
Jesse Plimpton. Wow, can't think of his name. And he's married to what's her face now? Mary Jane.
Which one?
The Tobey Maguire Mary Jane. What's her name?
Kristen Dunst.
Yeah. She's married to the guy from their season, right? Yeah. And he was in Breaking Bad too. He was the can't think of his name. Okay, anyway. What if
do you think so I like the idea of Carl, Cobalt Fox, Polar Star, Dead Step, Finger Blaster. Maybe Trash Panda could work somehow. I don't know.
Well, you know, maybe Trash Panda could be the guy who fucks up. You know, he could be the guy who, you know, he's like he gets caught basically like doing something. He's the guy whose arrest or incapacitation is what, you know, is what throws the plan off kilter.
Sure.
We could also do like a montage where people are auditioning, and it's a bunch of people that they're not going to use. Like you could have Sub Guy come out there like, yeah, I'm Sub Guy, and they're like, no, somebody else, and just a whole bunch of people come out.
Did you ever see that?
Subdude, Andrew.
It'd be funny if Subdude gets rejected for being too competent.
Did you ever see that that Venture Brothers episode where Dr. Orpheus and his friends are like auditioning for arch enemies? And you know, that's what you're describing. Basically, it was basically like a take on American Idol. You know, the audition phase of American Idol.
Yeah.
I've seen very few episodes of the Venture Brothers. So,
Looking at cultural desert here.
in some cases, yes.
No.
So like maybe there's like an audition. All right. So do we also, I guess, like usually when we talk about like the need phase, you're talking about like the main character. I mean, I guess his is going to be validation for greatness or something. Do we want to show like a Men in Black kind of thing when was it K? Basically when Will Smith is going through the tests to get in. Is that something we want to show? Like he gets chosen and then has to go through tests, or is it like?
I don't know if we need to.
Yeah, maybe he's already chosen.
Yeah.
So they go on the mission. A lot of this will be character development for the you need go. I mean, go in this section, in this thing to me is like fun and game stuff. So it's like preparing for the heist, doing the heist, and succeeding. Because that's succeeding is not the end of the movie or the end of the story. It's literally the midpoint where it destroys like it's completely not supposed to happen, and then bad guys close in after that, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to talk about the heist itself? Do you feel like talking about that?
Sure.
Sure. I mean, as far as the heist goes, I mean, how do we want to do it? Do we want to do it like Mission Impossible style? You know, like lots of impossible acrobatics, climbing down walls, or more along the lines of like brute force? But you know, drive a truck through the door and then go in and smash and grab.
What if they did both? They tried to do the subtle route, or they're doing all the acrobatics and they keep on like failing and falling in horrible ways, and they just cut to crashing the truck through the front door.
You see, I kind of support that. To me, it's like I like the idea of like advanced acrobatics, but it's because one of them accidentally trips and falls down a ventilation shaft and magically like avoids all of the lasers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His body twists and breaks in such a way that the laser completely misses all the lasers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, and you know, that might be his body might be broken, but he totally got in the room and hits the light or something.
Or you know, maybe it could be something like where you have like one of the characters, you know, like maybe like one of the female characters, like does you know does like very acrobatic jumps through the laser lights, and like gets through without being touched, and then like maybe like Carl or one of the other guys comes around, tries to do the same thing, and just like ends up like crashing right through everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me read that.
I see some acrobatic guy, like a lizard guy or something, who in the practice round, every time he goes down the shaft, he sets off the alarms, and he's like, "I can do this! I can do this! I can do this!" Like, well, you got to do it. If you don't make it through without setting off the alarms, none of this is all going to completely fail. And then when he gets to the actual thing where he's going to do it, he's looking over down the shaft, and he like has a panic attack and faints and just literally falls down the shaft and bounces off the walls and makes it all the way down to the bottom without setting off a single thing, and does it completely unconscious. And maybe he lands on like there's a security guard at the bottom that he's supposed to incapacitate or something, and he lands on top of him and knocks him unconscious. Maybe he's supposed to do some acrobatic, you know, to take the guy out, you know, and have him not set off the alarm, but the guy looks up as the guy's falling unconsciously and smashes into him, and it just I don't know, that could be hilarious.
Yeah, I love that.
Or what if like they're looking down this assumed ventilation shaft? I don't know, could they see below them? It's long, and they're like dropping stuff in there to test it because they're afraid to go down. And so he just like throws a bottle of water down and lands on like the security console thing and fritzes it out or something just ridiculous like that. I do like the lizard guy though.
Or you know what, there could be, you could make make fun of those kids' videos where they're constantly flipping the water bottle. You know, they're trying to get it to land right.
Oh
Maybe
yeah, like
that-
they're doing
maybe that's-
fidget shit, and they before the heist, like this calms me down, man, and they like throw it and lands on the junction box outside and just short circuits everything. Something just really like ignorant.
Yeah. But it's like a once in a lifetime, never going to happen again type of throw,
yeah.
where it bounces off of shit and yeah.
I saw one of those like on Twitter today. It was like a big soccer match, and someone was way up in the stands. They made a paper airplane and threw it, and it actually wound up gliding all the way down midfield and went back and went into the goal. It was just like one of those impossible type of things.
Yep.
It's kind of cool.
We used to do that. I used to live in this building called the William Oliver Building in downtown Atlanta, and we used to go on the roof, and you'd make a paper airplane, and I would throw it, and it would literally travel for like I mean, you wouldn't see it fall
Right.
because it was so high up, and then you make an airplane decently, the wind would just carry it, and it would just like soar, and it was so fun, man.
We used to get up on the roof of my friend's apartment building, and we had one of those water balloon slingshots, the big ones, and just crank water balloons like multiple blocks in the air. Probably not safe, but you know.
Yeah.
I used to live in this this apartment block, very tall building, and it had a set of like circular stairs, at the back of the elevator, and there was a central stairwell that went all the way down for like 20 floors. And what we used to do is that we would get water balloons, like the really big party balloons, and we would fill them up, and we would chuck these balloons down the stairwell. And we're talking about like balloons that weighed like 5 or 6 pounds when they were fully loaded. And what we would really do because we were like horrible little shits back then, is we would before we filled them up with water, we filled them up with like soap, with like detergent, or like shampoo. So it was soapy water. And we would like go on like the 30th floor, see this giant stairwell, chuck the balloons down, and then like a few seconds later, there'd be like a big poosh. And it was fun at the time, but years later, I'm thinking, man, we were really lucky we didn't hit anyone on the head, because, from that height,
Fuck somebody up.
Yeah, very much so.
So
Come on.
where are they stealing this from? Is it a museum? Is it a casino? Is it like a Pulp Fiction thing, like just some drug dealer guy? I don't know. Like what? A penthouse? Like where are they? I mean, I think we kind of established, and we can change, of course, but like we kind of established early on that what they steal is completely unimportant, because it really was a decoy and it was a way for them to get killed.
Well, consider the mark. If it's going to be Finger Blaster, what kind of crib or house would that kind of character have? I mean, are they stealing it from his home or his place of business, or maybe maybe as a secret vault or something?
I almost see it. And I'm again, it's nothing is canon yet, but I almost see Finger Blaster being like a YouTube influencer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he
beyond his means.
Oh, dude,
like a really ritzy place.
He has like his apartment, his penthouse is like caked in gold. You know what I mean? It's like 24 karat gold, everything.
That's what I was gonna suggest, was like stealing is like YouTube. You get your plaque or whatever, your gold plaque. Like, dude, I watched this. There was a clip with this Bitcoin maxi guy, some company who's trashing Ethereum, right? And this is like kid's like 19. He had this hoodie on with his thing tied up like a bow. It was so weird, but he obviously lived in this really nice house, and behind him in this room were all these like cubbies and stuff like for storage or clothes. They're all empty. It's like
you're talking about ballers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Max, that guy is like legit. Like that guy is like he's on CNBC and shit. Like he's
yeah. It's a news interview, but he had like nothing behind him.
He's always on there, man. He's a huge YouTuber, but he has a startup that is like basically allows you to transact Bitcoin every second.
Yeah.
His whole thing is like you can get paid on a job. You just get like in real time you get paid instead of like getting paid per hour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I just thought it was funny because it's like those memes when it's like crypto bros make all this money on leverage and they'll show this big house, but it'll be like a crappy, dirty mattress and like, you know, like an
empty fucking house.
Yeah, an empty house. Like that's how this guy should live, I think. Just like the max, but actually have nothing.
So kind of like an Andrew Tate character. You know, like he's on YouTube. He's basically a player, but behind the scenes, the furniture is all IKEA, and the cars are all rented.
Yeah, that could be good. Yeah, that could be good.
You know, like he's basically faking it until he makes it, but
he's like Island Boy and Andrew Tate. Island Boys and Andrew Tate had a love child.
Oh God, that's. I can almost smell the Axe body spray.
Oh.
I can't remember this guy's name. I'm trying to look him up. It was something like Baller. I can't remember his fucking name.
Do you remember the character? I can't remember if it was Damon Wayans or David Alan Grier in Living Color. And it was like, you know, a guy in prison, and he'd always be there like pontificating, right? He'd try to use all these like these made up big words, but they were always like super wrong and usually like sexually charged and stuff like that. Do you guys remember that skit at all?
No.
Say this again?
God.
Sorry.
I'll have to find it, man. Like I'm just thinking like this Andrew Tate guy, but he's really just an idiot. You know, the way he talks, like he wants to be like very, very intelligent, but just like word salads everything.
It was Jack Mahlers. That's his name.
I gotta find this clip now.
Yeah, Jack Mahlers. Here, this is this kid. Yeah, so he goes on like CNBC, and he does his live streams from his closet, so there's nothing in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's legit. Like he's worth a fucking fortune. But he doesn't buy anything. You know?
No, he was definitely smart. He trashed Ethereum though, man, big time.
Yeah, he hates Ethereum. He's just pure Bitcoin guy.
He was like the maxi of maxis.
Yeah, he's super maxi Bitcoin guy. Whatever. But yeah, that's his thing. He shoots from his closet and he has no clothes in there.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, to be fair, he probably has 18 other closets.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. You guys would probably know more about the whole Miami crypto growth thing than any of us ever would. So, I mean, what is that style like?
Can I show? I found like a minute clip of what I was talking about. This guy. Can I share?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me drag this over here.
Make sure you're sharing audio.
Also share this tab's audio. Checked. And all right.
In Living Color. I love In Living Color.
I know.
Oh, we don't hear it.
Damn it! I checked the thing, man. What the heck?
You got to share a window or tab or something.
Tab. All right, hold on.
Yeah, it's you can't send the browser. It's the tab.
Okay. Present tab in Living Color. Okay, let's try this. All right, let's see. Can you pop it up again?
Yeah.
First of all, we must internalize the flatulation of the matter by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate the crux of my venereal infection. Now, If I may retain my liquids here for one moment,
Anyway, yeah, that guy. I forgot all about him, man.
So good.
Yeah.
That show was so edgy and so good.
Yeah, and it gave the world Jennifer Lopez and Jim Carrey. So
That's true.
just
Let me see. Let me get back here.
as far as they haven't tried to bring that back yet. I mean, they rebooted everything else out there.
That'd be interesting.
I like having this. I like having Finger Blaster as sort of this Jack Mahler's guy. Like he actually like same thing. Like he shoots from his he either shoots from his closet that has no books in it, or it has no clothes in it, or he shoots from his garage that has nothing but books in it.
He's
You know,
got
like
like a
Tyler Rose.
cardboard cut out of a Ferrari behind him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
exactly,
gonna say.
exactly, exactly. I could use that for a couple other things too. So maybe they go. Maybe they go. So maybe it's like his penthouse they're trying to rob.
That makes or maybe his mansion.
His mansion would be cool. That way, there's more.
What
of
if
a
he had an
location.
office like in the back of a Chuck E. Cheese or something?
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Lives with his mom.
Maybe he has an office in the back of his mom's daycare.
There you go.
Wait, he has an office in the office. What?
In the back of his mom's daycare?
They're trying to steal his tea.
They're trying to steal his teeth.
Tea.
With tea.
Tea. Like he's high tea. They're trying to steal
Oh,
it.
I thought his teeth sounded good too, like Kanye's titanium chompers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking he literally like has a tea pendant that's made from some rare ore that came from like Venus's dimension or something, and it's super powerful. It has a superpower like energy source or something.
That could be kind of cool. That powers his popularity on his YouTube-ness.
Yeah, and it's literally a tea.
Because he's like such an actual idiot, but this thing gives him his people that get entranced by watching him, and he gets his views. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah. So what a tea like the
Tea.
Like the letter.
Like the letter T. Like all these influencers want to be like, oh, I'm such high. I'm high T.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I
That
have
Zoomy
not heard that
talk.
one before.
And what influencers are you looking at?
All the douchebags that are like Andrew Tate. They
Fair enough.
They all claim to be high T.
Yeah.
Or maybe like that liver guy. You know, the guy who's
Yeah, he claims to be high T. He's not. You're not high T. You're on steroids, dude. You're juicing.
Yeah.
He's
Or, you know-
hardcore on steroids. You don't get.
You know who Dan Bilzerian is?
No.
Oh yeah.
He's like he's basically everything you're describing, but like turned up to 11. So he's basically this like he's supposed to be a billionaire or a millionaire, and he's always on his Instagram channel, super jacked. I mean, like he's got his muscles, like kind of guy whose muscles have muscles. Whenever you see him, he's always got like a couple of bikini babes draped all over him. Always like driving like big fast cars, shooting off big guns. Which actually has a kind of sad story because he was actually present at that mass shooting in Las Vegas a few years ago, and apparently he started
All the
shooting.
ones the feds did.
Yeah, something like
Okay.
that. But yeah, I mean, so I think like someone like Dan Bilzerian,
I'm just paid to be here.
Oh God.
or maybe someone like kind of like a Dan Bilzerian character, but even more obnoxious.
It might work. I like the idea. I like the idea that they have to steal it from his. It's either a mansion or like it's got the location has to be big enough and have enough things in it that these guys, these idiots, can like go to different rooms, different levels.
Yeah.
They go to his bathroom and find that he has a bidet, and they start playing with the bidet.
It could. What if it was like a mansion, like a penthouse mansion? Because then they could do the things like if we wanted them to climb like or fall down a ventilation shaft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that works.
Like a multi-story.
What if they had to get on the roof of the penthouse to go all the way down the ventilation shaft to get to the security, to then go all the way back up to the top of the penthouse to actually get into the thing, right?
It should be ridiculous.
Yeah, so they got to go down.
Wait.
They got to go down like 50 floors through the thing, and then nullify whoever, and then back up again, unseen, right?
And get to the roof. Say this one more time. Get to the roof.
Yeah, they got to enter the ventilation through the roof, and go all the way down to the bottom floor where the security is.
To the basement.
Yeah, to the basement or whatever to nullify the security, and then what if it hard locks all the doors as a failsafe? Then they got to take the stairs all the way back up again.
Perfect.
What's even funnier is that maybe when they get to the top, they find out that there's like a secret, there's like a secondary elevator that they could have just taken. That they could have just taken instead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that has like
the
backup
one that's still
power.
turned on. Yeah.
Perfect.
What if they assume that the guy is living on the penthouse, and when they finally break in, they find out that he actually lives one floor down because somebody bought the penthouse above him, and it's somebody famous, like, and they're like he's feuding with them, and so they've got a bunch of extra security. Maybe it's like Judge Judy or something. She owns the penthouse, and he's actually in the floor right underneath it.
They break in to the wrong penthouse.
Yeah, they break into the penthouse only to find out he lives one floor down. They go through all that to find out they're on the wrong floor.
It'd be very funny if, I'm going to use Judge Judy as the example, just for the sake of it. But
go ahead.
The person's like established to be a really big fan of Judge Judy in the beginning, and then they accidentally break into the place and trash it, and then they find out afterwards that it's Judge Judy's place. And he's horrified.
What if maybe that's part of the serendipity where they break into the wrong penthouse, realizing that the person lives at one floor up, one floor down, whatever. But that person that they broke into is actually the one that has the MacGuffin. Like that was actually the target for Team A, or sorry, Team B.
Oh, right. So yeah.
Like they completely fuck up and get in the wrong place, and they're like, I don't fucking know, just fucking do this. And they like maybe they take something like, they take either they find the actual MacGuffin they were supposed to get, or they take something else, and that's actually the real thing. The real data or something, and now everyone has to fucking get it back.
It's Betty White's apartment. It's a penthouse.
Yes.
And the necklace is there because he has a thing for gilfs and accidentally left it there the night before.
Yeah, they break into the wrong place and steal a necklace just because it's like, we're in the wrong place, but we might as well steal something, and it ends up having like a code inside of it or something.
Right.
They were meant to be a distraction while Team A breaks into Betty White's place, because I like Betty White's
right
as a target. That's hilarious.
Thank you for being a friend.
Like has some code on it. Something. I don't know. Right, because that would be a reason. That would be all of a sudden they're like, oh, you know, they're tying up Betty White or whatever. What is this?
Why isn't this an adult fantasy character? It's perfect.
That's great.
Yeah, it is. I love
Is that-
it.
is that Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Yes, it's Hee Hee Man.
Okay.
It's brilliant.
No.
That might have to be. That might have to be. We might have to do that. Heenus versus Hee Hee Man versus Iron Man.
It's Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Yeah, that might actually might get us sued if we do that because
Nah,
For
It'll
what?
be fine.
everything's fine.
It's Iron Man.
I'll just tell him that you created it, Zach.
oh, thanks a lot.
Well, you remember they did in that last Masters of the Universe relaunch, the digital animated one on Netflix. There's a character called Ram Mam.
Oh yeah.
Ram Mam.
I actually have the toy.
Look, you're talking about the one that you're talking about the one that's kind of like sci-fi based, not the Kevin
They
Smith.
turn Ram Man into Ram Mam.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
yeah,
I think I saw that movie once.
yeah they gender swapped that character, but it actually worked.
It sounds like complete and total contempt for the fan base.
Well, actually, believe it or not, the show is actually pretty good. I mean,
I don't believe that.
I think
I
he's talking Avery. I don't think he's talking about the one by Kevin Smith.
no,
She has pink hair.
Of course
Her
she
name
does.
is Ram Mam.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the Kevin Smith one. I'm talking about like the reboot, like the
I'm literally showing it to
Yeah.
you right now.
it's very
Wait,
small,
hold on.
dude.
Yeah, well, I
That'd be
can't
Betty
help it.
White's
I don't have
character,
control.
except she's Graham
on, give me a
Ma'am, and
second.
she's a coke dealer.
Kind of like Griselda Blanco, but older.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Ram
That's actually
Mam.
pretty cool.
Graham
man.
Mam. I like that. A coke dealer that's based on Betty White.
Yeah, Graham Ma'am.
Graham Mam.
Right?
Perfect, dude.
Graham Mam.
She could be like a combination of Betty White and Griselda Blanco. Does anyone know who that is?
No.
I think they're making a TV movie on her or something.
Yeah, she was a drug lord back in the 80s and was responsible for several hundred deaths in Miami. So naturally they're making a Netflix series about it.
Yeah, perfect.
Graham Mam is a dope name.
Yeah, perfect.
Thanks.
Yeah, and she has the necklace because he's behind on the payment, so it actually
Oh,
ends up being what it
yeah.
needs to be.
Yeah.
You know, he owes her for like a couple of bricks,
Right.
so
right.
she has the necklace. That's how they
Yeah.
accidentally end up with it.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
That's super funny too, because it's literally you could never predict that he would give away the one thing that they're searching for, and they accidentally break into the wrong place, and that's how they do it.
Because he needs to be unaware of what it is and how special it is, and it's why he's popular on YouTube. He just thinks it's his symbol. It's just a piece of bling to him.
Mel's missing out tonight. I like Betty White as a coke dealer. That's really fucking hilarious. And maybe like because we can kind of combine it, like maybe it's also like Judge Judy, like she's a judge, and during the day, You know, like she deals coke at night or whatever. She's a hardcore like drug
Right.
dealer, but she's also like Judge Judy.
Was this like Hyper Brooklyn or Hyper Miami?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the block of Hyper Brooklyn this is in might be like Miami.
Mhm.
GTA can do it, so can we.
Really?
I don't know. I guess.
Totally.
God, Vice City was the best game.
Vice City was a good game.
The soundtrack was amazing too.
Mm-hmm.
Flag
actually-
FM.
I bought that soundtrack box set, dude. It was so good.
I remember once when I was playing it, I just like spent like an hour just driving around whatever town Vice City, would you just listening to the soundtrack on every channel.
I did that all the time.
Yeah, me too. I would use a special code to get myself a tank.
yeah.
And then listen to everything, because then I would just like, you're just rolling through cars and the cops are bouncing off you for a good long while. You're just rolling around.
Yeah.
I've heard some.
Oh shit! Maybe we need a tank in this thing. Do we need a tank?
No, maybe.
Maybe, but it'd be like a Shriner car, you know, like tough and tiny.
Or maybe like Finger Blaster has a tank parked down in the garage, and after you
That's how I
rob
get
it,
out.
No. He should have a tank in his apartment, in his penthouse, in this.
They drive it off the 10th floor.
They drive it out the window.
Because he's kind of redneck, maybe it's one of those tanks that you kind of build yourself. Like you take an old truck and you just like weld steel onto it. Like
Yeah.
Oh, a killdozer.
Yeah, it's a killdozer.
Killdozer. Yeah. Or like that whistling diesel dude that always makes these redonkulous big trucks and puts paddles on them and then takes them out on it.
Oh, whistling diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah. That dude's a maniac.
What is it?
This guy named Whistling Diesel. He makes these just insanely huge trucks that do weird shit. Like he put paddles on the wheels and then they made it float and drove it out off the beach in Miami. They've just got this giant diesel like piddling on the water. Like really dumb stuff.
I heard a rumor he was dating that psyop chick. I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't know, but I'd like to know where these people get so much money to do so much stupid shit.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Oh, his YouTube's very successful.
Oh yeah, I know, but I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Well, he started his YouTube a long time ago, when it was very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
Like when in the early days of YouTube, if you posted once a week,
Yeah.
you would eventually get a following.
Right.
Just once a week, one video a week.
Right.
Now you have to post every day.
multiple times a day, actually. Sometimes, some cases.
Yeah, it's.
Well, it's the thing is that a lot of those YouTube stars. I mean, like they, people crap on Logan Paul all the time, but more people watch his channel than, pretty much a lot of hit TV shows. So make of it what you will.
Yeah.
I watch YouTube more than I do TV. I like a lot of YouTube channels.
Yeah, me too. I don't watch TV as much as YouTube. Who's in Team B?
That's a great question.
Well, maybe Cobalt Fox. He's both the handler and the, and maybe he's there.
We've got Polar Star, Dead Step.
Okay, who are our competent characters?
Yeah, right.
How about maybe Clairvoy for one or the other? Do we want to use Devoid? I mean, we already did a comic.
No, I think her tale is kind of started in a different way. We need some guys on here, but we also could make some new characters if we can't completely fit.
How about
New
Heenus?
characters also will give us some room to like kill some people if we need to.
Yeah.
How about Heenus?
I don't know if Heenus would be like.
How about that villain I drew Heenus fighting? That's like a fake Skeletor.
Oh, maybe.
Or Golden Wing. Golden Wing. He seems maybe he might.
Golden
work.
Wing is. I see Golden Wing as like a criminal, so yeah, that would work.
All right.
And what's a Skeletor character, Avery? That's like.
Yeah, I don't have a name for him. I just drew a Skeletor parody.
Let's call a Skeletor character. And now do they? So at some point, we don't have to do it tonight, but maybe next week when we go back through this, we really need to hammer out what Team A's plan was supposed to be and what Team B's plan is, so that we know how fucked up it gets, right? Because if the necklace is at Betty White's house, or Grandmam, then does Team B know that? Were they planning to go there, or is it this necklace is actually supposed to be in a third location, like in some safe in another place, right? Like the distraction was like if the distraction was originally Team A robs influencer guy on stream or something, right, and gets basically busted that way, while Team B gets the necklace needs to be somewhere else. It wouldn't necessarily know that the necklace was given to Betty White for payment. Right?
Unless one of Betty White's like junkies tipped somebody off. Like, hey man, I know where this good score is.
Right.
Well, Granny's got the goods.
I like the idea that while everything gets fucked up and works in the favor for Team A, everything gets fucked up and works against Team B. Right? Like they have the location of the actual item. They go there, the item is missing, and that's because Finger Blaster took it to give it to Betty White, and these guys accidentally fell into Betty White's apartment.
Right.
So like maybe like Team B goes after item in its third location. Given to. I like how we just randomly inserted Betty White in here.
She's in everything, so it's only natural.
Totally natural. And it fits that she'd be a coke dealer too.
Oh yeah, she probably would have loved to roll like that in her late life. She was
Absolutely.
doing like all sorts of shit like that.
Yeah, she was awesome, man.
Yeah. Like she had that fake disc thing with Ryan Reynolds. I remember something weird like that.
That's
They
hilarious.
had like some sort of fake beef.
With Betty White. Oh. Hmm. I think anyone else have anything at the moment?
I think we got enough of a foundation for actually start plotting.
Yeah. Maybe start I still think we should fuck around with the plan, but we could do that next week.
I mean, I mean, like the thing is, you can only prep so much. At some point, you actually have to start telling the story, and in doing that, a lot of the questions that we still have will tend to solve themselves because the plot, the plot provides the solutions.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see how we solve the midpoint problem. Like they get the thing at the midpoint and it works, and then like everything gets fucked.
Yeah.
Andrew, you okay?
My eyes are just really tired.
Yeah. We got some good stuff for tomorrow night. There's a couple auctions going on that are really good. I got some good artwork for tomorrow night. Well, shit. Let's just talk shit then. Doc, you first.
Man, it's been a day, guys. I did a video. Yeah, I don't want to get into it on here, but it was pretty wild.
We'll talk off air on that.
Yeah.
I'm curious. But, props for doing the right thing.
Thanks, man. It was really tough to do. It was very emotionally draining.
I can imagine. So, can I ask you, you guys in the crypto space, how do you protect against these sorts of situations? Because I know that one of the big knocks against the NFT space, before the crash really hit, was like there were a lot of people who were going in, and basically a lot of scammers going in and doing basically doing rug pulls, and that kind of hurt the reputation of the whole space for a while, because everyone's saying it's all just a scam. So when you're setting up this sort of thing, how do you protect yourself against that sort of thing?
It's a great question.
It's a great question. There's no great answer to it. I mean, if you're a founder, then you better have, good developers and stuff. But then even then, scammers can still get to you. Like there's all sorts of like hacking into admins or mods Discord accounts and then posting spam links for airdrops. There's like bait and switch stuff. There's all sorts of like super technical and sophisticated scams out there. I saw some people were even like, and I think they even hit me up. I saw a tweet and it was like a game team had hit somebody up, and they like looked good, had legitimate looking people on the deck and all this kind of stuff, and they invited them to, like, they were on a call with them and it said download our client, and the client actually was the thing that he ran at Sandbox though, so it didn't do anything, but it would have been like the wallet drainer, right? And like that's insane. That's an insane level of whatever. I mean, that's the inherent risk with this industry. It's not just pushing technology, but it's also doing stuff with people's money, and that makes it inherently riskier. It's kind of like buyer beware a little bit, but
it's the trade-off, right? Like, we're entering a time when you don't have any control over your money, like zero control. And so you either have full control and take the risk in that, or have zero control and take the risk in that. And it sounds like, well, the way it works now with banks and all that, that should be the safe way, but you're losing 10% right now, like constantly because of inflation and all these other things. And then very soon you're not going to have a dollar bill, right. And the scary thing is like, we're already accustomed, like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you would just pay, you might have a card, but you would pay with cash too.
Yeah.
It was like 50-50. No one here pays with cash. Like very rarely do you pay with cash nowadays.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And in fact, the last place where you actually use cash, which is already kind of fading as well, is tipping in restaurants.
Yep.
Right? You might pay with your card, but you usually tip with cash. But that, of course, is changing already. And what happens, why that's important, is because when you pay with a card, you're not actually paying that person. You're allowing a third party. You're either allowing a corporation or a bank or both. They're the ones paying. Your card is triggering them, and they're the ones that are paying that other person. So there is now a third party in between your transaction. And that sounds small and insignificant until you realize that the minute they switch to digital currency, they have the ability to say no, and they have the ability to turn it off. They have the ability to take your money, like take it and make you destitute on a whim.
Yeah.
On a whim. And they will. We already know they will. And so you have this inherent risk of like, well, doing it by yourself is way riskier right now. And it's kind of buyer beware for sure. But there's also something to be said for like learning how to do it now and like getting educated on it now so that you can, make some mistakes or do this or do that, but kind of figure out how everything works so that you're kind of ready when they switch it 100% to digital, which they will in the next 3 to 5 years, guaranteed. 100%. It will be digital. It's just a matter of whether the money is going to be like Bitcoin and Ethereum and the public wins, or if it's going to be central bank digital currency and the Fed and the governments win. And I think it's going to be the Fed and the governments because they have all the power. So I think it's going to be a big struggle.
Do you think precious metal prices will go up in the event of that?
Maybe
like as an alternate form of.
I'm not so like knowledgeable in the precious metal markets, but when you talk to or when you listen to, I guess, like really smart people in that, the precious metal markets have been controlled for like 30 years. That's the only reason they're not spiking now. Like precious metals is a hedge against inflation. More people own gold and silver now than ever before, but the price hasn't really changed.
No.
You know what I mean? It's higher than it was, of course, and it's never going to be zero. But I think it's somehow artificially being kept down, and I'm not educated enough to explain why. I just know that a lot of people have said that.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100% it is.
Well, like in a lot of places, like in Southeast Asia, India, Far East, gold is still considered. Places where the banking system or the financial system is not that stable, or the rule of law isn't firmly established. Gold is still considered the ultimate hedge. I mean,
the problem with gold and precious metals is that it's not practical in a modern world.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna take a duffel bag full of gold and take it to a bank. You're also and like I would love to see what happens when you try to take a duffel bag full of gold bars on an airplane. Like it's gonna get confiscated. They're never gonna let you take it out of the country. You know what I mean? So if you can't escape with it, if it's heavy as shit because it's metal, and if you have you go put 3 duffel bags of gold bars in your truck and get pulled over by the cops. I promise you, you will not leave with it. No, even if the cops are good guys, like you're not going to leave with it. It's going to get confiscated because no one drives around with a truck full of gold bars. You must be doing something wrong, and they're going to hold it until they figure out what that is. And so
they'll take your cash if you have.
They'll just take. They'll take, and they don't have to give it back.
They'll call it proceeds of crime and just take it from you. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. So like that's why at least with a ledger, like worst case scenario, you can memorize the 24 word seed phrase, or you can carry around a ledger or whatever, or a number. Like it's way easier to carry a piece of paper on you or something.
Well, that's the
thing. Country,
It's like there's a lot of like mainstream financial news types who are basically like you mention the word crypto to them and they just start like spitting nails because it's a scam, it's a fraud, it's not real money, blah blah blah. But you look at places like Nigeria or India, and crypto's. I'm surprised crypto is taking off there because because literally like everything you're describing happens in those places because like the government's corrupt, their rule of law is weak. I mean, they Nigeria basically banned Bitcoin because so many people were so much money was flowing out of the country into like Bitcoin ledgers, but didn't really help them at all. Like in India, it's all spot. I mean, it's a very useful thing in places where the financial system is heavily controlled or corrupt. or oppressive, or all three.
That's right. And I
He
guess
is screwed.
the
Just
question
wait.
is whether you think whether is the rest of the world becoming more like the first world, or is the first world becoming more like the third world?
Mhm.
You know, the thing is that, you know, like a lot of the people who are opposed to it in the first world, you know, there's all sorts of conspiracy theories and whatnot. I mean, you can believe me if you wish or you don't. I just think though it really does boil down to just control. You know, I mean, if people start moving outside the system, then the people who control the system, you know, find themselves in trouble. I mean, that's the great weakness of being a middleman.
Yes,
You know,
which is why they're fighting it so hard.
What happens when your services are no longer required? When it's like historically speaking, for example, like the Silk Road, you know, which you brought like silks and spices from the Far East to Europe, and European goods back across the other way. And you know, it was like it would be a multi-year journey. You know, goods would pass, you know, change hands dozens of times, and every time the price would go up. So you know, you buy like a pound of pepper in China, you know, and wherever for like pennies on the dollar. By the time it arrives in Venice, it's worth its weight in gold. But then one day, someone figures out a way to sail from Europe to the spice region in the East, and the price drops.
Right.
I mean, it's like what the internet did. I mean, it used to be that if I wanted to listen to like Swedish drone music, you know, you'd have, you know, or like, you know, Norwegian atonal heavy metal, which is a thing, I think, or you know, even like Britpop, which I got into for a while. Back in the 90s, you had to, you know if you want to know, first even know about it, you had to be in a place where there was a college radio station that played it, and there was a record store within walking and driving distance that would have that stuff, and you know, and was knowledgeable enough to tell you about it. Now you got the internet.
Yeah, well, I think also too, like we live in a culture of massive Stockholm syndrome, where, you know, I mean, again, logically, why wouldn't you want to own all your digital assets?
Right.
Yet we're conditioned. I mean, you see the result, like when gamers are like, "Oh, NFTs suck," and it's like, you know, they don't.
Yeah.
They're so Stockholm syndrome to be like, you're paying thousands, and I mean millions of dollars, literally tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars for downloadable content or weaponry for games or levels or items or dress, and you don't own any of it. You're just you're leasing it, and you're throwing money out the window.
Just last week or so, I can't remember if it was Ubisoft or EA. I can't remember which game it was. Prince of Persia, I think, is like maybe only digital download. At least that's what I'm implying. But so that's actually an EA game. But they basically said in a statement, they're like, gamers just have to get used to the fact that you don't get to own your games anymore. Like, that's it. Get over it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't get a disc, can't even take it to GameStop and get your $250 for it or whatever it might, you know.
That's right.
Tough titties.
That's right. And it's like, you know, why? Like the more digital things become, the less you own. Right? All your movies, all your music, all your games can be deleted, and you will have nothing, and you will have spent everything.
Well, you know, it's not just games. Earlier this year, like late last year, there was actually a bit of a to-do regarding books by Roald Dahl. You know, the guy who wrote Charlie the Chocolate Factory and all that.
Yeah, I remember something about that, but I can't remember what.
And he wasn't exactly like the most enlightened person. Like, what happened is that basically a bunch of, well, I hate to use the word, I hate to use the W word, but it applies here. At a publishing house that owns the rights, basically re-edited the books to make them more, I believe the word was acceptable and to today's readers. So they literally changed, like they literally rewrote portions of the book that they personally found offensive. And if you downloaded a digital copy of that book, you got basically was updated. So, but the thing is, so if you wanted to like own the original unabridged version, you'd have to like actually own the actual version that was made out of processed dead trees.
Mm.
Because like a digital novel, you're just basically downloading a file onto whatever device you're using, and that file can be updated. So it's not permanent.
Mm.
Well, nowadays you can publish things to the blockchain, and it is permanent for literally the rest of time, and nobody can ever change it or do anything about it. So there's improvement there.
Yep.
True that.
We can grace the blockchain with characters like Finger Blaster and very
Think
important
all those
additions
things.
to
Those
society.
important pieces of art.
That's right. Important additions.
If I can make like an observation, I think maybe one of the reasons why so many people disparage the space is because in the initial rollout of the last 10, 15 years, like a lot of claims were made for the technology that never really panned out. So it may be that, Todd, as you say, like next year as things start to pick up again, and like blockchain 2.0, rolls out with like new creators, new companies, so on and so forth. The next round of people will make claims for the technology that reflect the actual experience now, because like I remember the whole point of Bitcoin was that it was supposed to replace like actual fiat money. That you'll be able to walk into like a 7-Eleven and pay for it with Bitcoin, pay for your cigarettes with Bitcoin, and that never panned out.
Right.
Or you see the whole NFT market. People dropping like $10,000 for what's basically like a bunch of pixels, and then like Tulomania, the price drops supposedly. Why are you looking confused, Todd? But I think though that so like it's not just people being stupid. I mean, it's just ordinary people. They're going to go by their own experience. That's like the best teacher. That's the guide. Your own experience is the guide you're going to trust the most. And if your experience with this space is a lot of people making wild claims about this technology that doesn't always pan out, you're gonna like fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Right.
So I think when next round, because blockchain is not going anywhere, but when the next round starts, it's people, it's the people who can actually deliver what they say they say they can deliver, who are going to own the future, because nothing succeeds like success, and nothing builds trust like actually doing what you're saying you're going to do and proving it. If that makes any sense.
Or exposing your founder as a terrible person.
But then I know next to nothing about the technology, so maybe I'm completely full of shit.
No, you're right, man. The proof's in the pudding with this stuff, but for the user, it's always a roll of the dice. Even for the people making it, it's always a roll of the dice, because since it's an emerging technology, there's always attack vectors where other people can take advantage of, like security. But it's people breaking things that pushes technology forward, and this is just different because it is also this investment vehicle as well. So it adds this extra layer of like, oh my God, when something goes wrong, and it heightens the public opinion from people who aren't like, if you don't love it and you're like, oh well, I lost $500 on this stupid NFT scam, on to the next one. But if you're like Johnny Joe Main Street, like when your uncle starts asking about NFTs, that's the joke, that that's when it's time to sell. But when they come in here and that happens to them, then it's a heightened sense of really getting screwed over. But
well, I hate to say it, but I think the whole all the scandals that happened last year, like with SBF, and now all the shenanigans that started going on at Binance afterwards. I mean, I know it's, and that those are exchanges and not NFTs, but to the average person, that's just crypto. It's crypto's crypto. So if this guy with his freaky hair and this weird philosophy, it turns out to have stolen like I don't know how many billions of dollars. I hate to say it does taint the space. I mean,
that was really dirty. The difference between SBF and CZ is far. Whatever happened to CZ? Whatever happened to the news? Like, he's gonna have to pay these fines, and then like they might not let him out of the country or whatever.
Someone somewhere's getting paid. That's all. That's probably what's happening.
Yeah, but if I could jump in there, I think a lot of it is sort of the control of public perception by the powers that be that see blockchain as a threat. Because look at any sector of business, and almost all companies fail. Like, that's just the way it works. Most companies fail.
Yeah.
Most go bankrupt. There's scammers everywhere. There's plenty of other financial crimes that are not NFT related. But that's what the media is focusing on, because they see crypto and blockchain as a threat to their control through self-sovereignty.
Well, also it's all that. It's that, but it's also just that crypto happens to be the new shiny block on the new shiny toy on the new shiny chew toy on the block. So, I mean, like some guy in Wall Street ripping off his clients. Well, that's Wall Street. So that's what the average guy's gonna think. Oh, that's just Wall Street. That's what they do. Buyer beware. But some crypto guy ripping off like billions of dollars using like technology that just sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook.
Yeah. I think the other thing is that, unless you're like really into the crypto thing, and you can abstract it to being like, because to most people, it's not tangible. This isn't a tangible industry, right? You can have, like, for me, if I know my seed phrase in my wallet, then I know my crypto's there, and that crypto is real because it was created with energy and blah 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 blah. Right? For me, that's real. For most people, I'm going to put money into an NFT thing that's supposed to be cool, and you don't really get anything back when it fails. I could go to a restaurant that opens up in my hometown and eat there at least once before it fails. I can buy a Kickstarter for something and put my money there for something that doesn't ever quite take off, and that fails. But at least I can play my board game, or hopefully, or whatever they send me, right?
Well, I think what's really going to push this technology over the top is when it stops being used for like just as a way to just create wealth. When people stop seeing it as basically a way to get rich quick. Like buy crypto, like buy some shit coin, sit on it for a few months and then sell it for like twice what you made for it. When that attitude goes away, when it starts being seen not as like the equivalent of like a Beanie Baby or like one of those like toys that have like really big heads that used to be really popular and now are kind of starting to crash. But when it's seen basically as a tool to facilitate something else, so for example, well, like let's say the next big crypto thing is not some pixelated picture that is supposed to be valuable because like a bunch of like influencers hype it up and say it's valuable, but it's like a protocol that's used to facilitate something else that's actually people actually want. So it's like comic books. We're in the comic book industry is not doing well right now. I mean, distribution is bad and so on and so forth. But what if the blockchain was used as a way to, create, to help create comic books and facilitate their sale and prevent?
You don't say.
You're a duck. I don't.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Using
What have we been doing?
No. I'm not making fun of what you're doing. I'm just this is I tell you more about after the show.
Yeah.
You know,
Using
These are
Web3
conversations we have a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
content distribution. What?
right?
Yeah, but so that's the thing. I think when the blockchain when it becomes not the thing in of itself, but the thing that helps other things happen. That's when it's gonna. That's when it's really gonna revolutionize the world, because it's no longer going to be the shiny new totem that everyone hopes is going to make money rain from the sky. It's going to be an actual tool that can be used to do something interesting.
But it will do both. Money will still rain from the sky.
Well, like I've always said, Dusty, when you're a billionaire and we're all mooching off of you, you'll be probably proven right.
I'll
Yeah.
send you a bottle of, what is it that you like? You don't like scotch, so I'll send you a bottle of something.
Southern Comfort.
There you go. I'll send you some Southern
Ooh,
Comfort.
no. Mm-mm.
Me
Can't
and
do
Jeff
that stuff
have one.
anymore. Just that I can smell it from here at the Southern Comfort. We've had some experiences back in the day. That and Jägermeister, boy. Ooh, I could still stomach that though if I had to. I had a real reason to drink it, other than just getting stupid hammered.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, you're right.
We used to
You're
call
right.
Jägermeister instant asshole.
isn't
Yeah.
there like a drink where it's like half Jägermeister, half Red Bull or something like that?
A Jaeger
Sure,
bomb.
Jaeger bomb.
Yeah. And like I know there are bars that actually ban it now because people drink that, and they basically get wired and drunk, which
Yeah.
is never a good combination.
Yo, I drank one of those Sparks things one time. Somebody gave me one at a tattoo convention, man. A buzz, a caffeine buzz, and an alcohol buzz at the same time. Not good.
Well, you remember the old Four Loko, right? The actual energy drink with you basically it was like a it had enough caffeine for like 2 cups of coffee and enough alcohol for like 2 beers.
Yeah, back when it was still good. Yeah.
And remember when it got banned in the city, the next day, like every single bodega in the city was like cleaned out because like people would come in with like shopping carts and like just grabbed every Four Loko can they could get, and then they were being resold on the internet for like, I don't know, like 10 times their original value, or like 20, like a can of Four Loko that cost like $2.50 was now selling for like $50.
Four Loko?
Yeah, Four Loko. Yeah. When after it got banned.
Oh, it got banned.
Well, the original formulation got banned
Ah, I see.
because there was it was like it had the equivalent of like 2 cups of coffee and caffeine and like
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy used to drink the shit out of those, and that would be after a night. That would be like his like 7 a.m. drink when we'd go back to the liquor store after partying all night. Be like, let's go, guys.
Yeah, whoever came up with the idea of combining energy drinks and alcohol is an evil bastard.
Yeah,
it was a bunch of guys in California actually.
we used
It's
to drink a
all-
shit
Dusty,
ton of
what'd
Red
you
Bull
do?
or Jaeger bombs, and we get jazzed on them. Either that or the Coke. But
I mean, in Norway, they have this they make this thing called, I think it's called agavit. It's like basically like a very clear moonshine. And the trick there is that you get a cup of strong coffee, strong black coffee, and you basically drop a penny into it, and then you pour in the agavit and then you stop, and you only stop, they say, when you can see the penny at the bottom of the cup. So it's not, caffeine and booze is not a new thing.
no.
No, just in strong quantities, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, the problem they had is that like so many other things, there was basically a bunch of like college bros who were taking it over the top. So like these guys they show up with like they be double fisting this stuff all night. So they're wired to the gills. They're wired to the gills, and they're also drunk. Because they're wired, they don't know they're drunk, so they drink more. And then bad stuff happens. Well, I'm not gonna. I mean, some of the stories you hear, I'm not gonna say them here because I don't want us to get banned. But they were pretty damn freaky.
I mean, see, this is where I don't understand, because I having a very broad experienced life, and I've partied my ass off, and there was never a time when I had drank so much that I didn't understand that I either should stop or like I was possibly going to die.
Well,
And I don't
think
get where these college things like come in where they're like doing butt chugs and all that weird
It's-
shit.
it's basically frat boys trying to like impress their bros.
I
Like,
guess so. Yeah.
When I went to school back in the '90s, like the big thing back then was Everclear, which is basically grain alcohol.
Sure.
And I went to college in Pennsylvania, and you could buy Everclear there, just at the liquor stores. Then one year you couldn't because there were guys who were basically doing shots of this stuff. This is like literally pure alcohol,
Oh yeah.
and you're not supposed to. It's supposed to be cut with something.
Yeah, make that jungle juice, baby.
Yeah, and then then of course some freshman who's like never been out of Iowa goes to
Yeah, make that Saint drank.
and then like next thing you know he's being hauled to the hospital for alcohol poisoning, or some girls, or some underage girl from some underage towning girl that's then gets through the door without being noticed, and then something happens, and you got reporters. There's reporters camped outside the college administration office, asking, how can they allow this to happen? So, and I think with Four Loko, it was the thing is that when you combine alcohol with caffeine, the caffeine masks the alcoholic effects.
Yeah.
You're drunk, but you don't feel drunk.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, I definitely understand. Boozing.
Guys, this was great.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Good lore games, good post, good chill. We're going to continue in the green room. But Dusty's requested that he gets out so he can go to the grocery store or something.
I have to go buy groceries, guys.
You don't need to eat, man.
Bye.
Food's for quitters.
See you later.
Yeah. Homeboy got to eat, I guess. Anyway, love you guys. We'll keep talking because I want to. We'll keep talking in the green room. Anyway, everyone else, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Lore games. This lore games was awesome, man. This heist thing is going to be really, really good.
It's going to be fun.
I think we'll see you tomorrow for Nerd Den.
Definitely see everybody tomorrow for Nerd Den. Cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. All right, guys. Love you. See you then. Peace out. God bless.